Hi there, I'm Professor Juris and I wanted to make you a quick video and show you how to make a very simple digital negative on your computer and inkjet printer using Photoshop. Now I want to point out right at the beginning that this is a very simple method and is for beginners. So if you choose to go farther than this, I'll give you some resources for going way past what we're going to show you here. But I'm just going to show you how to make a simple digital negative to get you started. Now, it becomes much more complex as you move on and as you start making prints, but you can find that you can make a digital negative specifically for cyanotypes. You can make a digital negative specifically for platinum printing, um, and so forth. So this method is just a simple way to beginning, especially if you're just starting with Photoshop or something else. This will show you how to create a digital negative that will work for beginning printers. Now, two resources that I want to mention if you want to start to go further than this, and you can go a lot further, would be Dan Burkholder. If you search Dan Burkholder on Google, you'll find his website. It's probably just danburkholder.com. And I consider him to be the forefather of digital printing as for alternative processes. He has books out, he has profiles that you can download from his website that will be specifically for like platinum palladium printing or platinum and gum printing and so forth. So he covers the whole gauntlet. And another person that is a fan of mine on YouTube is Bill Schwab with Northlight Photographic Workshops, and he also has videos that are much more complicated than this one as far as getting into it. So again, the purpose of this video is simply to show you how to make a quick and easy digital negative for beginners. So to start with, what we're going to do is I've opened up this image in Photoshop, and what I want to do is the first thing I want to do is check the size of it, because I want the size to be the size that I'm going to print it, and I'm going to print this on a sheet of 8 by 10 paper. So I think I'll probably make it maybe around a 6 inch by 6 inch negative, or in that proximity. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up here under image, and I'm going to go to image size. And when I go to image size, this window comes up, and this shows me I can see the document size down here in inches. I can see it in pixels and so forth, and I can see two things down here. I can see scale styles, I can see constrained proportions, and I can see resample image. These two right here are very important. You see they're both clicked right now. One of the things the first thing I'm gonna do is actually unclick resample image, because when you resample the image, what it's going to do is it's actually going to stay with this resolution. And right now I want to stay with the same amount of pixels that I have in the print, and it's 10.9 megabytes, which is up here. So if you look at this right here, you need to look at this top number, and this is a good number for printing. If you don't want it to be like 100, although it's some of the Epson printers. I mean, I print 100 megabyte files all the time, but this will keep it so it'll print fairly fast if it's in that, especially for like a 5 by 5, 6 by 6 size image. But right now the picture is it's 27 inches by 26 inches, and with 8.887 or 8 or 667. I can't see that well. But so I'm going to click resample off, and what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to click this to 6 inches, and when I've gone to 6 inches, you can see my resolution has gone up, so it's 3.32 pixels per inch, but you see the pixel dimensions have remained the same, so it still has the same amount of pixels in that file, and that's really important. Now you would want to resample it if it's, for example, if this was like 200 megabytes and you didn't want to wait around all day for it to print, depending on how fast your printer is and everything, then you can resample it down. And also, like, I might choose to resample this down for the YouTube video thumbnail that I put up. YouTube won't let me put a thumbnail up that's this big. I have to change it to around 200 or to 2 megabytes. So it'll only let me go to 2 megabytes. That's my size limit. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go ahead and hit resample image right here. And when I hit resample image, you see it's still the same size right now. But when I go down here to resolution, I'm going to make this 125 instead of 332 pixels per inch. So I'm going to go to 125. And when I go to 125, notice this came to 1.55 megabytes. Well, I can still go a little bit bigger than that, and I want to try to come as close as I can to that 2 megabyte thing for making a thumbnail. But and again, this is just if you needed to make a thumbnail. So I'm going to go to 150, and it's 2.23, and that would certainly let me put that up as a thumbnail. But I'm going to hit cancel right here for a minute, and I'm going to go to image size again. And now here's back where I started at. So another button that's very important in this is the constrain proportions. You want to always make sure that that is correct, or that is on. And the reason that you want to make sure constrain proportions is on is because if you don't have that on, when you change one of these sizes, it's going to distort the picture, and it can distort it pretty bad. And I had a student that didn't understand that, and they printed all their Pictorico film without having constrained proportions printed, and I think their explanation was that's the way it came out on their printer, but they missed this point that you have to have constrained proportions set when you're working with photographs. So when you change one size, it's going to change the other size proportionally. So again, I'm going to go ahead and just set this to the size I want now for making my digital negative. So the first thing I'm going to do is click resample image off. And when I click resample image off, I'm going to go with the width right here. And again, I'm going to try 7 inches maybe. So when I go 7 inches, it's around 10.9, so it stayed the same, and because I didn't have resample clicked. And the resolution is again the same, so it builds up, but it's 284 pixels per inch. So that's the size. Now it's a 7 by almost 7 square photo. So I'm going to hit OK. And now that I hit OK, I have this all set to size for the picture, or for the negative that I want to print. So the next thing I'm going to do is come up here to image, and under image I'm going to go to adjust. So it's image adjust, and I'm going to slide over and slide all the way down to desaturate, and that's going to change it, take all the color out of it. And so now I have a black and white image, but I'm still in the RGB type file. And I usually, again, as I think I mentioned this in class, that I print in RGB. I believe most people do that are making these, but some people may print them in just black and white. But if I go to mode, I can see over here that some people do print them in grayscale, I guess, but I print mine in RGB color. So I'm going to leave it there. It says in mode. I want to check and see if it's in RGB color. And then at this point, what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually invert it. So I'm going to go image, adjust, and invert right here. So image, adjust, invert, and that's going to switch it from a positive image to a negative image. Okay, so then I have my negative image that's present, and it's already sized. So at this point, you could just print it out and see what happens. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to adjust the curves in it a little bit to give me a little bit beefier negative. So I'm going to go to image, adjust curves right here, and then this little dialog box is going to come up right here. And when this dialog box comes up, remember, I don't know if you remember I said this in class, but you kind of make it look like an English longbow. So I'm just going to grab this in the middle right here, and I'm going to pull this curve down a little bit. I'm see the cursor right here. I'm swinging it up. So I'm going to go to right about to there. And when I've done that, what I've done is you've seen I darken the image up. So I'm going to hit cancel for a minute so you can see it go back to normal. And when it goes back to normal, see it got lighter. So again, I'm going to go image adjust curves. And when I go to image adjust curves, I'm going to come right to the center here, and I'm going to click my mouse, so I grab it, and I'm going to pull this down to an English crossbow. And you can see if I pull it way down, it gets really dark, but I just want to have it so it's most of the negatives won't come up that dark at first. So I'm just gonna, pull this up, get it to about where I want it right there, and I'm gonna hit OK. And there I would have my negative ready to print. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up my Epson software for this. I don't have this computer hooked to a printer right now, but the software is still in here. So just to give you an idea how to set the printer settings. Now what you want to do when you're setting this for printing on the Pictorico film is you want to set it to the highest quality print quality you can make for glossy paper. So that'll print on the Pictorico without smearing, and it'll use the matte black ink. So I'm going to come over here to File, Print, and then my Epson software should come up right there. And so there's my my Epson software showing the image, and now this is showing it right here. You'll have to choose the paper size that you're setting, and this is showing. I usually print on a larger size sheet of paper, but that's showing that's what I could change that. But I'm going to come here and just click Print Settings over here, and this is again. You may not find this unless you're using an Epson 3880 printer. This is the driver for an Epson 3880 printer, so that's very important. Your software, I almost thought about leaving this out because it's going to be different on yours. So whatever type you have, I'm just going through the motions for my printer so that you see what I do, so that you kind of get an understanding that it's a little bit more than just hitting image print. You have to set it so it's going to print the highest quality. So when I click printer settings right here, I'll get this box, and now I'm going to go down here to this third thing, and I'm going to go to printer settings. It's kind of redundant, but right here it shows me the media type, and this again is set to luster right now, so I wouldn't want to do that. I want to go to photo paper, and I would actually go to fine art, and let's see if we see a glossy down here. Cold press. So this is showing, this is like your different papers. Now I'm going to go back to the photo paper, I think, and I'm going to hit premium photo paper glossy. And that will set that. And then the other thing is your resolution. You want to make sure your resolution, so your media type, you want it set to photo glossy paper in your printer settings. And then the output resolution, you want to set it as high as possible. So right here, look at, it's saying Super Photo 2880, and that's the highest that my printer, this Epson 2880, will print. So I'm going to hit that like that. You can click high speed off, you can click high speed on. It depends on what you want to try to do. I think it prints better if you don't have it on high speed. And then I'm ready at that point. I could hit save down here. And when I hit set, or you can't see save right now, but there's a button right below this that says save, and I would see if I can pull it up. Yeah, right there. So I'd actually save that, and then I would hit print in the next thing. So I'm going to hit it just to see what happens here. And then my print box is right here. Let me see if I can move this up. If I can grab that or not, it might be too low. Yeah, there. So there's my print button right there. So at that point, I would hit print. And again, I'd have to set the paper size. See if I can scroll down here and find the paper size. Print settings. Yeah, here's paper size right here. So I would have to go in here and set whatever size paper that I'm using. And then on the Epson printer, if you look over here, it's showing me like where the paper is going in, if it's going in the front, if it's going in the back. So I usually print it in the back of the printer because I can just drop it in. And I think it prints better that way, but depending on your printer, you may or may not have that possibility. I'm going to cancel this, and get back to our image. So there's our image, and then I would just, again, print that out on the Pictorico film. Now on the Pictorico film, when you get it, oh, one other thing that's really important, I almost forgot that, is you need to flip this if there's any type of writing or anything in this, if you want, or if you care which size makes the print. Because right now when I print this, it's going to be backwards from the original image. So I'm going to go image. I'm going to go image, where is it at again? Image rotation, and I'm going to go flip canvas horizontal. So now it's flipped the opposite way. And now when I print this with the emulsion side down, it's going to come out the same way that it was in the photo. If I don't do that, the image will actually be backwards when you print the emulsion of the Pictorico film against the emulsion of the chemicals that you're using, Van Dyke or cyanotype or whatever it be. So especially if you have like writing in the picture, like if you had a sign that had some words in it, you want to make sure that you can read the words, because it's important that if you want to get the sharpest image, it's important that you print the emulsion side of the Pictorico against the emulsion side of the photographic emulsion that you're using. And with the Pictorico film, when you take it out of the package, there's a smooth side and there's a side that's kind of like textured with teeth. That is the side that you will put so that the printer prints on that side. Another way you can tell is if you wet your finger and your thumb and you touch the very corner of the Pictorico film, the side that sticks is the side that you want to print on. So that's the emulsion side of the Pictorico film. But on the Pictorico, it's very easy to tell just by looking at it or touching it with your finger, because one side kind of feels like sandpaper. The other side is very smooth, and you want to print on the sandpaper side. So anyway, I hope that helps. If that helps, please give me a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button, and that'll help you get started making your first digital negative. Thank you.